Hello and welcome, PocketWatch here, and it's about time for another episode of IO. So, welcome YouTube, welcome chat. This is the one of the rare episodes where we are on stream with members. So yeah, let's continue. Last time Hinata got the power from He, and Yumi got a request from Ishtar. So yeah, let's just continue and let's see what the Enma Elish chapter is going to show us, because this is clearly Gilgamesh related thing from Fate. Of course, right? Anyway, we are talking with Yaoi hologram, which I theorized at the end of the previous episode. So, yeah, not going to repeat that. Go watch the episode if you don't know what I said. I think to talk about that I intended for everyone to hear. Okay. The combat projects a hologram of the certain person, Amane Yayoi, as she begins to solemnly speak. I pour freshly brewed coffee into a mug. Okay. He is coffee enjoyer. I like it. As the bitter fragrance rises to my nostrils, I taste the black liquid. I do.
まずは軽く自己紹介といきましょうか。今の君と私は初対面みたいなものだしね。
Oh, interesting. Okay. Did we time skipped? She chuckled slightly.
私の名前は天音弥生。教科学園で恋をやってるものよ。仮想世界バビロンを作った張本人でもあるの。バビロンのかつての管理組織。ハッカー集団。アヌンナキの名前。君なら聞いたことあるでしょ?
So Hinata personality is basically lost at this point. Like he is like dominant version, like dominant personality here.
そのアヌンナキのトップである三騎士の一人。天空のアヌとは私のことよ。
I take a sip of my coffee and listen to her without moving an eyebrow.
さて。どこから話したらいいもの？そうね。最初はなぜ
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
ここから始めましょうか。
That would be nice to know.
きっかけはなんというか、自分を見つけ出すためだったというところかな。
Okay, that's vague. 5 years ago, she was troubled with a severe sense of depersonalization. She was suffering because she couldn't actually feel a sense of reality from the real world. Oh, so she's one of the IC. Okay.
自分が IC だなんて、そういった得意体質だなんて思いもしなかったわ。
Okay.
IC の概念は一般には知られていないからね。私は大学に通いながらも、周りの生徒や先生に、親にさえ全く親近感、まるで薄いベールを隔てての関係。モニターの向こう側にいる存在みたいだったの。見ているもの、話している言葉も私とは全然違う。
So you just wanted to create a world where you would belong, basically. So that was like basically the selfish desire of yours.
自分だけがどこか遠い別の次元にいるみたいで、怖くて孤独で。まあそんなわけで自分が病気なんだと思い詰めるようになった私は、症状がどんどんひどくなって、
Okay.
次第に学校にも通わなくなり、部屋に引きこもりがちになった。
Just like a certain someone, I think. Someone very close. Okay, so he is aware of Hinata, basically. Like, I mean, he is borrowing Hinata body. So, yeah, of course he knows about Hinata. Wait, did he think about Hinata? Actually, Hinata was walking to school. He wasn't shut in. Wait, about who is he talking about? Huh. I thought about Hinata, but no, that doesn't fit.
自分の殻に閉じこもっていた私は、やがて自分の存在にさえ信用が置けなくなっていった。私はどこにいるの？ ここにいるのだとしたら、リアルを感じない私は誰？いないのだとしたら、ここにいる誰かは誰？
Mutsuki, but maybe not. Oh, right. Mutsuki also, yeah, yeah. Maybe Mutsuki, who knows? Someone very close, yeah. Okay. What am I if I'm here? Who is the me who doesn't feel like anything is real? Jesus! If I'm not, then who's the person here? I thought that every day. Think less! Yay.
悩んだ末、私が思いついたことは、己の存在を試すこと、そして周りの世界に問いかけること。
This is exactly what was happening in Road D with he. He didn't know if he exists or not and if this is real or not. She was in similar state.
私はあるプログラムを組んだの。
Okay.
小さい頃から私はコンピューターが好きだった。物心がつくかつかないかくらいの時から親のパソコンに触るのが好きになってたわ。どんなに不安な時でもコンピューターに向かってると安心した。だってコンピューターを伝えたことに明瞭に反応を返してくれる。
Okay, that's called addiction.
コンピューターが言うことを聞かないときは自分の組んだプログラムに間違いがあるからでしょ。彼らは問題を曖昧にごまかさないの。とてもシンプルな関係だから。話がそれたわね。で、私が組んだプログラムというのは簡易的なコミュニケーション。
You made it chat or something?
引きこもり状態だった私がコミュニケーションだなんて笑っちゃうでしょ。
Sure.
でもきっとそれだけ他人との接触を求めていたって。
I mean, there sure were like other communications, like tools online you could use, so you could use them. But yeah, sure, you could create your own. Why not?
私はそのツールをネットワーク上での管理が放置されていたバグダットのサーバに設置したの。誰でも手にできるフリーウェアとしてね。ただ、
Okay.
そのツールにはちょっとした仕掛けを施してたんだけどね。なんだと思う？嘘、冗談。
Okay.
君がこんなことに答えるとは思えないし、たとえ答えたとしても正解かどうか現時点の私には分かりっこないもんね。
The me at this present time wouldn't know whether you got it right or not. So, okay, 1 second. So this is with inside of cyberspace, so the time here is different. So she's from me from this present time wouldn't know if you got it right or not. Okay, maybe this is just a recording, this is not live. Yeah, this is probably recording. So this is recording from the past. Some message that she left for him. I think.
君が過去に遡るでもしない限り。
As long as you can't go back in time. Funny thing, he can't. At least later. Or maybe he already is.
で、その仕掛けなんだけどね。ちょっぴり難解な暗号を埋め込んでおいたの。
Okay.
ちょっぴりって言っても普通の人にはまず解けないような。
Okay.
今はもう現存してないから見せられないけど、暗号解読の知識だけじゃなく、コンピューターとかネットワークとか、
Sure.
ちょっとした考古学にも通じてないと解けないような。ああ、それはね、バビロニアのくさび型文字にヒントを得た暗号だった。そしてその暗号を解析できたものだけは私が持っていたサーバのシークレットアドレスにアクセスできるようにした。
Okay, that's actually a pretty cool idea. I think like there is something similar, like ERL, there's like some organization or something that's like using something like that as well. I forgot what that was. Like they try to find like people with like high IQ and stuff. I don't remember exactly what it was.
要するに誰もが入手はできるけど本当の機能が使えるのは一部の限られた人間だけだったってことね。多分私は知りたかったんだと思う。自分の存在意義として何が成し遂げられるのかということと、私と同じような人間が他に、私には確信があった、
Okay.
もし私と同じような人間であればきっとそのツールを見つけて暗号を解き明かして私のところまで名乗りを上げてくるはずだって。
Okay, so how does it make you closer to understanding if the world you live in is real or not? Like you're gonna have to just ask them, or the holographic sensei then procures a cigarette and takes a smoke from it. A sorrowful look is on her face. Is it because she remembers her loneliness from back then? With both, she blows a thin line of smoke in the air and faces me again.
結果的にもちろんあの暗号はネットワークに極度に親和性の高い IC しか
Okay.
解けない暗号だった。私は何ヶ月もモニターの前で待ち続けた。誰かが私のアドレスを叩いて毎日期待で夜も眠れなかった。彼氏からの電話を待ってる時よりも胸が高鳴ってたわね。そしてついにその待ち人がやって。
Okay, who contacted you first? Was it Mutsuki, perhaps? No, Mutsuki joined them later. Yeah, Mutsuki joined them later.
見事に暗号を解き、最初に
Oh,
私を
okay, Enlil.
出雲司だった。
Right, one of the big three.
彼女は本当に天才的なプログラマーだったわ。だってたったの4ヶ月と10日で公開以来彼女のスコアを塗り替えた人間はいないの。それから司と私は何日も語り合ったわ。確信通り彼女も私と同じ症状と悩みを持ってた。
Okay, that's young Enlil and young Yayoi. She kinda looks like Ishtar a little bit. Huh. Okay.
私たちにとってお互いは第一のそして初めての理解者だった。やがて司は私のハンドルに倣って中空のエンリルを名乗るようになった。エンリルはバビロニアの主神の一人、風と嵐の神、大気の神。
Sure.
それは私がそう言うと恥ずかしそうに照れて、だって雲は天と地の中間に位置するだろ。
He's always coming clowns.
それから
Oh, yeah.
今度はメグ、和田摘みめぐみもやってきた。
That's Megumi.
彼女はプログラマーとして優秀なだけでなく天才的なデザイナーでもあったわ。
Yeah, she hasn't changed.
それからメグはエア、
Now she just have longer hair.
大地のエアをハンドルにした。水と知恵の神、芸術神、和田摘みっていうのは怪人のことだから。
Is it now?
メグもまた私や司と同じような人種だった。私たちは知り合って間もないのに10年来もの友人のような関係になった。楽しかったわ。私たち本当の友達ができたんだものね。
Okay. And what drove you to make a Babylon, actually? Yeah, Sensei gives a nostalgic and slightly lonely green. These days must have been long ago for her.
自分たちは特別なのか、それとも世界が特別なのか。私たちはコミュニケーションツール上で夜な夜な議論し合ったわ。この頃
Okay.
になってあるスピリチュアルなサイトでイマジナリーチルドレン IC のことを私たちは自分たちが IC であることを強く確信した。
Yeah, I mean, you are right.
やがてそんな私たち3人が導き出した結論は IC が異端視されない世界、 才能と苦悩を分かち合う者同士のコミュニティ。
Okay, so you created the world basically for the greater good for the ICs. Okay.
したがってページの一部を公開して自分たち以外にも IC として苦しんでいる子供たち
Give them home.
というのは避けられない流れになったわ。公開するにあたり司やメグは徐々に私の開発したコミュニケーションツールに機能や主にメグがビジュアル面を担当し司がそれをプログラムして組み込む。私がやったのはアイディア提供とそれらを組み込むにあたって相対としてのバランスを取ることかしら。間もなく進化したコミュニケーションツールはネット上の RPG 的となり必然的にバビロンと名付けられたの。
Okay, they made VR chat.
その背徳的な雰囲気の漂う世界観は社会から阻害された自分たち IC を象徴していたからよ。
I'll quickly look at the curtains that are shielding the window. Is it clear outside, or is ash and rain falling? Here outside the box, I don't have a way of finding out.
そのバビロンに最初に接触してきたのはエレシキガルと名乗る少女だった。
Okay, so Ishtar sister was the first that came to Babylon. Okay.
エレシキガルってのはバビロニアの冥界の女神のことね。とても悲しそうな目をした子だったわ。なんでも
Oh.
彼女は目が見えないんだって言ってた。彼女には IC について私たちよりも深い知識と理解があったわ。それもそのはずね。だってエレシキガルには相手が IC かどうか見極められる目があったから、彼女は生来賢を認識する能力がない代わりに人の気配を色として認識する視覚を持っていたの。
Oh, wait, this is the aura thing that Ishtar had. And Yumi later. With her, like, cybernetic eye. Oh. Huh. Okay. So Ishtar had the same ability as her sister.
気配の正体は残留千葉や赤外線などの可視光以外の微弱エネルギーが総合されたものらしいんだけど、見える色は人によって異なるそうよ。
Wait, but... Oh, okay. This is just, she can tell if this is the IC or not. Okay, yeah.
気配が赤い人もいれば青い人もいる。萌木色の人もいれば白い人
Am I going to learn about colors again?
けれどね。イマジナリーチルドレンの色は無色なんだそうよ。
Colorless.
まるで水晶みたいに。
But we saw people having actually different colors of auras. They were never colorless. Huh.
彼女はその目をイマジナリビジョンって呼んでたわ。
Imaginary vision. Let's just check this once again. Yeah, this is this with aura thing. Visible color varies from person to person. Imagine children were colorless. But we saw everyone in colors. That doesn't hold water. That's weird.
そしてその目を使って誰かを探してたの。彼女にとってとても大切な人だったそうよ。
Okay, so she had the same problem like Hinata, trying to find someone. What's she searching for? I touch my loose hair and stroke it backwards.
けれど残念ながらその人はまだ見つかってなかった。それどころか自分と同じ IC さえ私たちと知り合うまで出会えなかったそうよ。それから彼女はバビロンに腰を落ち着け、私たちの良きアドバイス、エレシュキガルの奥深い知識と知恵は私たちにとって本当に有益なものだったわ。ただ制作そのものに直接は加わらなかったけれど。
Too deeply wounded.
何かをやるには
What happened to her?
深い傷を負ってたの。
Huh. Sensei looks downwards and says this with a low voice. And she continues her story. Skillful IC then arrived after Eresh Kigal. First was Nabu, a man who was concerned with little else except computers. Who was Nabu? Have we seen Nabu? Was that the big bulky guy? Or that was someone else? Wait, no, Nabu. Wait, who was Nabu? Nabu was the one from Exarch that Ishtar contacted in Route C? I think? The one with like special line to contact Ishtar? I don't remember. Sakuya's daddy, okay. So that was this guy, yeah, true. Okay. Next was Nergal, okay. Who considered profit above all else. Also about Nergal, apparently this is just my superstition that somehow I just implanted the idea in my head that in like Nergal like workshop basically in this pod is Mutsuki. It's like someone else there. Someone else is there. And it's not Mutsuki. It was just my like weird thinking. Anyway. And then there was Akatsuki Akari, a girl with a heterochromia that had extremely sharp intuition, and who would later call herself Ishtar. Yeah? With these three, the new development members on board... Oh right, I forgot! God damn it, I said like... she had the same ability as sister because I thought like they're like blood related sisters, but... we learned in the previous episodes that Ishtar and Eresh are not like family. So... was like Ishtar eye also cybernetic then? I wonder. Or it just happened that she had the same ability as Eresh. Anyway, somehow they had the same ability. With 3 new development members on the board, they all formed the team known as Anouki, a name they adopted with the added nuance of them being Anu's companions. From this point onward, Anu, Enlil, and Ea, the founding members and the core of the team, became collectively known as the Great Triad in the world of Babylon. Babylon began rapidly making progress by the hands of Anouki. For communication lines, they decided to use a commercial-grade internet service provider, ISP, and build a private host server. The visuals and sound were enhanced. The system became both meticulous and over... the fuck is this word? Overarching. Okay. And the world grew bigger and bigger. What's more, almost all of Anouki underwent organic biocomputer surgery, so that the net would feel even more real to them, but only Ea refused to do so, claiming reality is also real. Interesting! Ea had no biocomputer? Wow, that's different from usual IC. Huh. You don't need biocomputer to actually become like Null or Shadow or something. Huh. When she reached that point, Sensei sighs. I instantly organize all the information I've heard up until now in my brain. There's no problems. Help. But if there's one thing bothering me, it's that...
弥生先生はアヌンナキの中心人物、プロデューサーだったはずなのに、ほとんど世間には情報が知れ渡ってないな。
You should be the leader, the producer, if you may. You are the virtual unknown, okay? Also, you called her Yao-sensei, so... Interesting. So we have he that still have, like... Yeah, like, this he is like mix of Hinata and he from the future. Like he have like both minds at the same time now because he remembers her as the teacher. Anyway,
顔もプロフィールも何一つ俺のサーチに引っかからなかった。あるのは憶測だらけ、謎だらけだ。
my search didn't bring up a single picture of profile you just tons of speculations. Okay, I don't know why you didn't knew who she was. I'm confused. When is this happening? Okay, you lost me here. I verbalized my questions without thinking about it. At any rate, the hologram recording can't answer them anyway.
私はね、黒幕だったのよ。
However, she unexpectedly answers with the perfect timing. Tch. It's like she got precognition of something. Looks like the omnipotent he has lost face. I mean, she probably read Yasira or something. Have foreknowledge. Her intuition is better than anyone else. It's like she was born with the considerably hidden shaman-esque power to communicate with spirits. Logic doesn't apply to those kind of people. I'm rather bad with this type.
あまり表舞台に出たくなかったの。結果として今の仕事がやりやすくなったんだけど。
Normally, there's no reason for him, the legend on the net, to know her. Yeah, but he possessing basically Hinata body, and this is like... Yeah, it's still the same year, the same month. Unless like he actually lost most of memories as Hinata. And only he exists. But why would he call her Yayu-sensei then? Weird. Mm.
ほら、私って奥ゆかしくて目立つのって苦手だから。
Yeah, right.
それにミステリアスな女って魅力的でしょ?
Oh, brother. But I rather like that. He's also extraordinarily clear-headed. I may not be good with her type, but she wouldn't make a bad partner. That's my impression, at least. Oh! Okay. Okay. So they do like switch personalities basically. Okay, so that's why he doesn't know her, because Hinata is like sleeping. He's taking control. Yeah, okay. That's how it works. I'm listening to Sensei's long story as he, and at the same time I'm dreaming. A dream about the events that must have happened in the past, or maybe it just seems that way. Oh! Mutsuki is on her bed crying. Okay, we're back to Mutsuki. Rare to have your sprite actually on screen. She's speaking specifically in a way like she's talking to him, not to Hinata. Yeah, like this was a recording basically specifically made for he. Like she knew like he is going to watch this recording. How did she know? I guess like she just like left a message for him. Actually, okay, I will leave that for later. Let's read. For now. She embraces her stuffed rabbit, buries her face in her pillow and sobs. The room is dyed dark blue, as if it were night sky itself. As if she were Princess Kaguya gazing at the moon with tears in her eyes every night as she waits her moon messenger.
寂しいよ。寂しいよ。月さん。私の周りには誰もいない。学校のクラスメートも先生
でもお父さんやお母全然知らない世界の人みたいなんだよ。温かみを感じられないんだよ。私どうしちゃったのかな。病気なのかな。宇宙人に改造されちゃったのかな。怖いよ。寂しいよ。孤独で。
She tightly squeezes her stuffed rabbit. Its face had been warped and dumped, as if it were the one crying.
怖いよ。怖いよ。もう学校になんて行けないよ。外になんて出られないよ。みんな。
Mutsuki, I instinctively called out to her in a voice that can't be heard.
お兄ちゃん。
And she can hear him! Okay, so this is also cyberspace? So he and Hinata just having like split personality adventure. Like both of them have their own adventure at the same time. What? She shouldn't have been able to hear me, right? Or is it also part of the dream? Before long it becomes clear that it's the latter. Oh, okay.
月うさはお兄ちゃんだけは違うってそう言いたいのね。
Mutsuki stares at the rabbit's eyes, the crimson like blood, the crimson like the total lunar eclipse.
最近のお兄ちゃんはよくわからない。いつも考え事ばっかりしてて遠くばかり見ててお話を聞いてくれないの。心がここにないの。
It's a continuation of Hinata dreams thing from the A road. Okay. Yeah, like he had a lot of dreams in the road A. So basically this is like after the surgery with He. And Hinata still having his dreams about Mutsuki. And in the meantime, he is having his own agenda in the cyberspace. Basically. Like we're like two people like at the same time, like I said, having like adventures in dreams. True, I guess at the same time my heart might not have been there. But that's because like Muski, my symptoms of being the IC were slowly coming to a head. Because I also felt out of place like her.
だね。私のことが嫌いになっちゃった。
You're wrong, Mutsuki, that wasn't it. It's way too late now. I should have noticed her SOS signal much sooner.
私はどこにいるの？ここにいるのだとしたら、リアルを感じない私は誰？いないのだとしたら、ここにいる誰かは誰？
Oh my god.
ねえ、月うさ？君はどこに？
Mutsuki raises her head and looks in my direction. Or so it feels like. Suddenly my eyes are looking at hers.
月にうさぎはいるよね？
Okay, it's still the same question, huh? And back to the other part. Oh, you are asking the same question. Okay.
そんなおとぎ話のような問いかけを私たちは永遠と繰り返しているようなものだったわ。地上にもリアルスペースにもどこにも存在しない楽園を探してた。誰もが思春期の頃に芽生える。ここは私のいるべきところじゃない。ここではないどこかにもっと私にふさわしい場所と役割があるに違いない。
Since I smoked her 10th cigarette. The cigarette smoke makes her image fuzzier into the existence not of this world, into a ghost from another dimension that doesn't exist here.
どうしエレシキガルは特にあかりと恋にしてたわ。彼女を第一の生徒のように見てるしてというより仲のいい
Yep, we know.
だったかな。後にエレシキガルは肌身離さず身につけていたロザリオを。
Okay.
2028年。4年前のことよ。順風満帆に進化を続けていたバビロンに
At the time, they found an infrastructure could no longer keep up with the system as it expanded and experienced greater access numbers each there. And this is when Exar gave them the quantum computer, right? The server and communication lines were also gradually reaching their limit, creating a fatal roadblock to the service. When taking into account that their original goal was to make the IC community, there was no meaning in expanding Babylon any further. But the game's user base was no longer composed solely of the IC. They expected further development. Also, this is kinda contradictory to what they tried to achieve initially. Because if you think about this, like, they tried to escape from real world where, like, well, there were IC and the real people, and they didn't felt like that was real for them. And now here in the cyberspace, they also have the similar situation. The space that feels real for them, but they also have both IC and the real people here. They basically created the world that would feel ultimately the same for them, I think. Anoki was split into different camps concerning what to do with the future of Babylon. And Ishtar thought they should limit service. But Nergal said they should work out an expansion policy. Enlil agreed with Nergal, though her only reason might have been that she didn't want to agree with AI and Ishtar. Okay. Nabu said that as long as he had the code programs to write, he had no complaints. Regardless of whatever they tried to expand or cut back, he would have something to do. Eresh Kigal observed silently. Sensei said, as fellow IC, we mustn't quarrel, and respected everyone pays. Peace, space. Peace, space. Of course, Nergal said that. Should work out an expansion policy. They came to no conclusion. That said, investing anymore would be pragmatically impossible. But on the other hand, they had no practical knowledge on switching over to the full-scale commercial service. Reluctantly, they somehow overcame the situation by gradually reducing things to maintain the status quo. Okay. I'm dreaming. Again. That radiance is fading away, like the sun setting over the horizon. The other me continues to shine on the other side of the Earth's surface. And yet, wait, what? And yet, sure.
私たちはいつも一緒だよ。だって修学旅行にだって一緒に行ったもんね。みんなには笑われたけど、私は月うさを手放したりなんてしないよ。だって君は私の守り神だもんね。
Sure, she says that and then smiles like a fairy. And when he holds her stuffed animal, she turns towards her computer. It has 3 monitors for the multi-display environment. The machine configuration is specific for very serious professional use. That equipment really doesn't suit a girl.
Babylon?
Okay, this is the first time when she found out about Babylon. Okay. Wait, what? Babylon? And Musky already became entranced by this word at this time. Okay, so in timeline of the game, this is before he read the before he even started like searching for Mutsuki, or at least before he read her diary, because in the diary, like, he already know that she went and like she was part of the or like Babylon stuff. So that's like before he even learned that. Okay. Like, to put this in the perspective of the time. So, wait. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Wait, no, that's wrong. In Hinata Road, he didn't have the accident. No, wait. Oh, no. Wait. God damn it. No, wait. this is after accident because he have different body. But at the same time, he doesn't know that she... Oh no, this is like, okay, him realizing how early she got into the Babylon. Oh, never mind. Okay, I got this now. Okay. Never mind. Scratch that. Probably. Maybe. Somehow Hinata manages to make his own part more exciting than the part of he. Yeah. Maybe it's just been a long time since we had Hinata. Muski continues to quietly talk to herself in her dark room as she faces the monitors. The light from the monitors bewitchingly reflects on her face.
私の理想の月、この世界で見える月にウサギはいないけど、見えない月なら、みんなの知らない月になら。
It is invisible moon. It is a moon that no one knows about.
まだ誰も確かめていないんだから、そこには月ウサギ。だってそこには妖精だっているんだもん。
Okay. In the monitor, a flurry flutters about in the mirror. Okay. As if she's a Tinkerbell guiding Wendy to another land.
でも私が生み出すことだって。
Wait, you created one? But your theory said that you found one. And you couldn't, like, change its appearance and stuff. And now you say you made one? Wait, what? Why you give me... Huh? Amoskin's eyes, as their furry dancing captivating dance.
私決めた。
I'm going to the moon. Well, no rabbits on the moon, just like there were no elves in Tokyo.
私確かめてみたいの。自分の存在を。
Okay, yeah. So she have the same issue as he from Road D and Yayoi.
私がここにいるのかどうか。
Okay, yeah, sure.
そしてね。
Typical
聞い
IC.
てみたいの。この世界に。私がここにいてもいいのかどうか。
Musky hugs Moon Bunny even tighter.
見てて。私挑戦してみる。
While still holding her stuffed animal with her right arm, she slowly typed 3 letters on the keyboard with her left hand, one by one. S. Oh, Sin. Okay. And then she muttered something with a blank expression.
半分子だけいて。半分子だけいない。
Same issue as everybody in this game. Aside from Nergal, he just needs more money. Okay. Scene, like, we got a little bit of scene back. Oh, no, wait, not scene. I was thinking about Shamash. I thought about Shamash for a second. When we are going to get Shamash back? Is this guy going to be important or not? Like, why do we have, like, random account with maxed out level that can, like, use lightning bolts? Like, what's happening? Yeah, Sensei, story is still continuing.
2029年ついにプロバイダからバビロンのサービスの停止要請が通達されたの。
Okay.
現実という名の脅威は神々を殺し世界をも消し去ろうとしてたわ。それはまるでバビロニア神話において神々を一掃しようとした嵐の鳥。当時のバビロンはまさに半死半生。半分生きて半分死んでたわ。
Okay.
どちらも言える状態だった。新たなメンバーが増えたのもその名は神。
Yep. Okay. He reacted.
そう。ムツキのことよ。彼女は司が招き入れたの。いつどこで どのようにして彼女と知り合ったのかは。でも私たちがムツキという子を知った時、すでに2人
Yeah, pretty much. We learned about that from her diary as well.
エレシキガルとアカリみたいにね。司は言ったわ。崩壊寸前のバビロンをなんとか立て直したいって。そのためには優秀な人材が一人でも多く必要だって。一人としてムツキの参入を拒絶しなかったわ。だって司の願いは私たちの宿願でもあったから。バビロンはすでに消滅寸前だったのよ。けれどね、そんな時だったのよ。
They intervened, so this is the Exarch moment.
世界最大規模のコングロマリット
Yep.
エクサーク。
When she says the name Exarch, Yao's I sway and flare up. Just what complex emotions of hers could be struggling in there? I quickly glance at my right wrist. I stare intensely at the X seal engraved into the chronograph around my wrist.
彼らは社への従属と引き換えに大量の資本を投下し、諸問題を解決することを提案してきた。
Okay. Knowing they didn't have much of a choice, they wanted Babylon to survive. And Naoki agreed to their proposal. Yeah, that sounds normal, like normal stuff that would happen when the game company is getting broke, and the game is good, and they're just getting sold to the bigger company. Yeah, makes sense. And so they immediately upgraded the server and communication lines and created the commercial service system. Each of Babylon's ISP contractors were acquired by Exarch. In this, a new world system was constructed by Exarch. Exarch was Babylon's new chief god. They were its high ruler, and advertisements all over Babylon defied Exarch. The Tokyo government office building, located in Shinjuku, in the heart of the city, was rebuilt as the ziggurat. Oh, so that was Exarch who made the ziggurat inside the Babylon. I thought that was actually in the beginning there, from the start. Okay. Where it became the headquarters for Anaoki and Exarch's Babylon division. Ishtar was earnestly delighted that the community has been saved. Ereshkigal, however,
最後までエクサーク介入に異議を申し立てていたエレシキガルはアヌンナキを去り、どこへともなく旅立っていった。
okay.
きっとまた例の探し人を求めてなんでしょうね。
Yeah, so this is another person that someone is searching for. Who is she searching for? Why everyone is trying to find someone here? Just before she left, she said those following words to Sensei.
彼らには箱舟に乗る資格もないのですから。
For they are not qualified to board the Ark. Okay. The only thing she left to Ishtar was now suffering from a deep sense of loss. Was that Rosary? Due to Exarch's large-scale promotion, Babylon expanded in scope, and the number of users grew exponentially. Babylon was boosting its greatest prosperity since it was created, and that force reached all the way up to the heavens. And it also began to hate Exarch, though in different meaning than Ereshkigal did. That's because Enel saw their gaudy, shining advertisements and their lust for only profit as nothing but ignoble acts. She reached the point where she also cursed herself for ever supporting Exarch entry.
神聖バビロンの増大ぶりは
Okay.
とどまることを知らなかった。
Before long, Babylon, whose name had spread all over the world by that point, ended up being called too radical by the media. But instead, they had that bad press became fitting publicity. What the fuck? Okay, I cannot read. But instead, that bad press became fitting publicity for Babylon. Babylon's stage grew enormous until it even completely even completely covered all of Tokyo. All of its users enthusiastically supported Babylon. A number of users explosively increased, like a Big Bang. But almost all of those users were a non-IC. Yeah, that's the issue. Like I said, like they created an environment and ultimately the place they could call home basically for themselves, the place where they belong, became like real world. And they didn't feel secure at all. No wonder like Enlil is pissed off on Exarch, actually. They just make like advertisement board out of Babylon. What's more, in order to support them, Exarch provided an, at the time, experimental model of a certain something to be used as the server for Babylon. Okay, that's the Marduk, right? The quantum computer? Yeah, a quantum computer.
量子コンピューターだと。
だと? I have an intense reaction to that phrase. Quantum computers using a system that, once feasible, will be expected to replace the current von Neumann architecture. The system doesn't use processing methods with all 0 and 1 bits, in short, whenever the power is on or off, but behaves according to the quantum theory using quantum bits or qubits for parallel processing calculations. It's a system that shows amazing power, even with complex calculations. In just a short time, it can drive calculations that take an astronomical time for the modern computers. It's known that many countries have successful experimental level ones, but it seems they haven't reached practical use level as of yet. Come to think of it, it was rumored that Exarch has managed to complete a prototype several years ago. In 2020, it was officially announced that Exarch had given up the development of its own quantum computer, but it seems that was a lie. Was that arbitrary misinformation so they could continue development in secret? Of course, the fact that Babylon's latest server was quantum computer was apparently only known by those involved with it. But anyway, why is it leaving me this shaken? Yeah, like something happened in the future that he doesn't remember now? Is there something in memories that fears it? Yeah, for whatever reasons. I need to remember something. A quantum computer and his past. It's bugging me, but it's right to be dangerous to pursue that now. Also, this is like weird because he's saying that he passed. But in reality he means future. You know? Because he's now in the past, but his past from current standpoint is his future because he's in the past. You know what I mean? It's bugging me, but it might be too dangerous to pursue that right now. Irrational fear of quantum computers. That's assuming you are correct. Yes, I assume I'm correct. Whenever I can think about it, all I want later. I rewind the combat projection and replay the parts that I missed during my Berserk episode. Oh, okay. So you cannot control these outbursts of rage, it seems. Huh.
導入された量子コンピュータの圧倒的な処理能力はユーザービッグバンを一気に解決したの。
Sensei indifferently resumes her explanation as if nothing had happened. Well, nothing actually did happen in front of her, so that's only natural.
その様相は海流ティアマトを打ち倒し、その体を引き裂いて世界を作り出した
Yeah.
神々の王マルドゥークを彷彿とさせたわ。
And thus the central server was named Marduk, and Sin was put in charge of raising the AI that controlled it. Yep, we know that Mutsuki thought of Marduk as her daughter, basically. On the other hand, Nab was enchanted by the quantum computer itself, and spent nearly every day and night lending a hand to Babylon's reconstruction as its exclusive manager. It was greatest support possible to Yao-sensei, the creator of the world, and to Ea, the presenter of the world. Of course, they planned to use it for their own purpose in the long run. In other words, they continued to hack Babylon. Ishtar used her eye to scout for the IC among the new users and train them to be their comrades. Okay, so they were trying to make a revolution already. On the other hand, Nergal kept an eye on the general users and compiled the database of the real world social status and abilities. He looked for talented human resources. And yet, on the other hand, it seems Enlil was boldly trying to hack her way into somewhere. Okay, like where? We know that Enlil destroyed Marduk basically, right? Like we had like this analogy of like flood, like Enlil made a flood and destroyed the quantum computer basically. It was lost, and then we had Mutsuki with some new technology trying to create like backup data or something, like I assume with her brain or something, like just make her brain as the storage and like recreate Marduk, something like that. That was like in the day, back in the day, like in Road A. Long time. Enlil had been tormented with the extreme distrust and suspicious of the others since Exarch's entry. And this made no attempt to inform the other members of Anuki, not even Yaoi-sensei, of any details about her agenda. Yaoi-sensei only learned about this agenda later, but the somewhere that Enlil was hacking at the time was naturally Exarch. Okay, sure. Oh, that's the first time we see this cross, I think. Since when did she start wearing a dark rosary with the ominous design? This is the first time we have seen actually Enlil's rosary, I think. Huh. I wonder if this is important. Okay, we have Mutsuki here. No light, nor sound, nor gravity reaches here. In this space of nothingness, I have a dream. I'm dreaming while being awake. Almost like living while dead. Never mind, it's Eresh. God damn it. But the black eye was supposed to be Mutsuki. Why you suddenly give me a... God damn it. Oh wait, no, I was... Wait. Eresh was also the black eye. Wait. Right? Yeah, I just thought about... Yeah, that was like 3 people, I think, as the black eye. Yeah, this was just like different people. Yeah, okay. Eresh and Mutsuki. Yeah, true. Okay. Right. My body is already dead, that's why I cannot die. Yeah, pretty much. Yep. You are there. The legendary Gilgamesh, who continuously sought eternal life. Before long, I too shall go to where you are. So... Eresh was searching for Gilgamesh? That was the person she tried to find? Babylon's Marduk. Their entry 3 years ago forced me to resign from Anuki. Since then, I've come to the point where I feel like the mythical Tiamat who was defeated by Marduk. If that's the case, then he might be comparable to Apsu. Another primal god like Tiamat who was slain before her. Okay. Tiamat and Apsu had a son named Kingu. Oh my god, we are going into the mythology families now again. Hinata wrote PTSD. In that case, Do we have Kingu among us? Good question, actually. Wait. Tiamat and Apsu had a son named Kingu. He might be comparable to Apsu. But they had a different parallel for them the previous time. Okay, wait. Marduk. Known for defeating Tiamat, the Seed Dragon. Okay, so we have Tiamat, Apsu. Who's Apsu? Do we have Apsu here? We don't have Apsu here. Do we have Kingu? No. Is there his child somewhere? Yeah, that's what she's asking. So, I mean, there was a lot of, like, we know, like, Hinata lived for a longer period of time because, like, ultimately he found Mutsuki. So maybe he had a kid at some point. Nobody's Apsu. Oh yeah, like, he might be comparable to Apsu. Yeah, okay. So, wait. So, Apsu, Tiamat... I feel like mythical Tiamat, but she's not a Tiamat. So we need to find out who is Tiamat, and we might possibly find mother of whoever, I don't know. She's Eresh, but also decided to be Tiamat now. She's just like me, can't decide on the Chuni name. Okay. Okay, anyway. So she thinks that maybe he have a son or something. Maybe. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? We'll see. All the bitterness that Yao Sensei fills up until now appear on her face. Because for her, telling this story must be like gouging out an old scar that still hasn't healed. And this is only the beginning of the Sensei deepening suffering. It's a long, painful and pleasant story. Oh my god, imagine this. Like, we know that he is a legend for a long time in Hinata Road, right? Like, for some, like, weird, like, twisted timeline, like, going back in time shenanigans, he from the future possessed a body of Hinata dad at some point. And he gave birth. I mean, like, he spawned Hinata. And then Hinata became he. So he's a father of himself. Yeah, he's his own father. That's a plot twist. Okay, I overcooked. It's a long, painful, and pleasant story. 2030. It came completely out of blue. Babylon lost its guardian deity, its backers. Suddenly, Exar abandoned its support of Babylon, shifting to the other businesses. The reasons they gave for doing so are as follows. Okay, they could no longer live up to their demands of its endlessly growing user base. Sure, that's a bullshit. The cost was also endlessly growing. Okay, that's probably true. Doesn't it make him the father of his sister too? Wow, you are correct. Wait. Wow. Yeah. Okay. This guy. Is this like OG family from Muramasa once again? Like, what is happening? They were cooked as well. Advertising revenue could not meet expectations. It was improving their corporate image. They also gave 10 official apparent reasons like this to the public for giving up on it. And as the spider's thread pulling up Babylon was severed without another word. They were extremely cunning. It was as if they'd planned everything from the start. Nab would always say the following as if he had foreseen it.
こんな高価なおもちゃを連中が何の魂胆もなく貸してくれるはずがないさ。
Okay. A main server quando o computer Marduk shut down. My father was my brother. Music starts. System destroying viruses completely broke Marduk. Oh! They had... Oh, so that was the flood. The flood that Enlil made. The flood of viruses. Oh, okay. Babylon began to collapse. The scale of the terrorists had been expanded by the Exarch began to shrink. Territories. That process was conducted by the program that Enlil constructed herself, represented as the storms and floods. Yep, okay, we got that. It submerged the districts on the net, one after another. Enlil, feeling she was able to right her wrongs, joyfully did this in order to purge all traces of Exarch, which she hated so much. And thus the city on the net was crammed into the one area. I tried appealing to the users, particularly IC, to stay in Babylon, but many of the people who had lost sight of Babylon's possibilities and future prospects left in the blink of an eye.
様子にベグ自身もまたユーザーに絶望して姿を消したの。
Okay. That was the trigger. The members of Anarchy who could no longer share the same dreams left Babylon one by one, never to log in again. Nabu took his skills and became the exclusive staff member of Exarch. Nergal also gave up, but started his own independent business. That business is known as the Death Crossroads. Ishtar realized anew that Ereshkigal's attitude had been justified, left the team that the one she called her sister had been a part of. And then, after seeing all this,
最後に創始者である私自身もコミュニティを
in reality, that was the complete collapse of Anarchy. And thus the only members of Anarchy that stayed with Babylon were Enlil and Sin. Enlil, who'd worked hard in conveying and preserving Babylon's identity, probably fell into deep despair in that situation. She felt as if the world itself had betrayed her, rejecting her and completely denied herself. However, Sensei learned this later, that no matter how deep the despair she was in, Enlil would try to protect Babylon to the bitter end. Babylon wasn't completely ruined. Almost all the passionate users that remained were IC. That's what's more, they were all very well trained thanks to Ishtar. They named themselves Idok and volunteered to manage and maintain Babylon by themselves. Okay. So far everything connects correctly with what we know. Like, it makes sense. At least like this part. And so Babylon unexpectedly became a spontaneously generated IC society. Enlil deeply loved Idok, who had braved the very same floods she had caused and survived. In turn, they believed that they were a new generation of humanity that had been saved via an arc. Okay? And so she tries to guide them with the right ideology. In her speech following the acts of terrorism committed in the Exarch Japanese branch office building, Ellen said this in the following. Okay, so this is after the attack on the Exarch headquarters there.
かの闇よりも深き漆黒の淵で私は決意した。 自分の意に沿わない世界ならば、自らの手で新しい現実を作り直そうと。
Sure.
この手で現実をプログラムし直すのだ。
I will reprogram reality. Okay.
例えばバビロンの中には圧倒的なリアルがある。生と死の狭間のギリギリ感。バビロンから現実へと持ち込もうではないか。
Should not try to bring that from Babylon to reality. And how are you planning to do this? You cannot hack real life.
そのためには
I mean, you can if you have biocomputers in heads, I guess.
徹底的に混乱させ、秩序を破壊する必要がある。
Okay.
私の言葉を理解する我らが愛しき同胞らよ。これは IC の理想世界を作るための聖戦なのだ。
Yeah, you are a cult leader. And then she commits mass murder. Yeah. It's rewrite all over again. Who watches rewrites then knows. God damn it. Why? I already wrote like this. Why do we have this here? The many members of Edok accepted the ideals of Enlil, the only one of the great triad who remained in Babylon, are defined her as His Excellency. Later, she became a charismatic leader who was even called the Once and the Future King. Before long, after the original users ended the destruction and learned about properly managing Babylon, things slowly began to go back the way they were. Okay. Ellen carefully picked out the steadfast members from within Edok. Her imaginary vision... Oh! Enlil also had imaginary vision. So all the IC actually have this? Or like just some... Or it just can't happen. In special cases. Right guy was responsible for the original outline of this story. Yeah, makes sense. Her imaginary version, which could read all but visible right, proved to be handy there. Then she picked out members who were completely synchronized with her own ideology to be agents of her internal organization code. Edok, their public face, acted as the cover for code. What's more, as Babylon was the very definition of the corrupt world, it became the super camouflage for their actual criminal activities. Slowly, the boundary line between the net and the reality became vague for the members. And so Code's preparations to commit cyber-terrorism against Exarch, the government, the world progressed steadily. And Sin, Mutsuki also got caught up in this commotion. First, Mutsuki was successful in forcing Marduk to reboot together with Enlil, yeah? But it was like not fully operational, right? That act was practically a miracle that could only be brought about by their brilliance, for as far as Anno knew, Marduk was dead at the time. Furthermore, Mutsuki answered Enlil's request and created IO, an AI system that modeled the shadows the users themselves on the net, yeah? At first, they received flames from many users saying that IO was a user's addition, but because those were just users who were not satisfied with the currently existing game, the general user base gradually began to accept IO. Interacting with shadows brought about narcotic-like effects on many users. The reason for this is that the system of linking to one's shadow or to Babylon via IO is such a magnificent experience that the body begins to release something pleasure substances. Wait, what? When? Wait, what? Linking to one's shadow or to Babylon via IO. Oh, okay, because you also gain like experiences from the shadow and stuff. Okay. Refers to dopamine, hormones, endorphins, stuff like this. Okay. Second, at the times where human not really experiencing pleasant feelings. Two examples would be refreshing feeling of having played strenuous sports, emotions, piece of art. Those substantive pain killing and drug effects, which was produced to feeling flash. Amount of secretion is maxed out when the person is engrossed in some activity. As a result, humans are motivated to immerse themselves in the same activity to re-experience the same sense of relief. Makes sense. Known as something narcotic substances. Despite the inclusion of the word narcotics in the name, those natural substances dissolve faster than we think as narcotics, which is to say synthesized narcotics. Okay. In other words, I had the aspects of the computer track. Yep. In order to prevent the players from leaving, and you ended up imitating Exarch. So you addicted them basically to the game. Smart. She also had another separate expectation. I was a program used to accumulate the player's information, experiences, and memories to personalize shadows. Information accumulated via the shadows would gather in Marduk. Infinite experiences, various behavioral patterns, thought patterns, memories. The more they assembled, the further they made every shadow and Marduk itself evolve. All in order to return Marduk to its former glory, and for it to excel once again. Before long, Marduk would probably rush out of Babylon, break through all kinds of securities like the red tissue paper, and they function as a cyber weapon. They creating Skynet. Is it like that? Is that why he is afraid of Marduk? That like Marduk destroyed the world in the future and he went back in time to stop Marduk? Like, are we having like it's like Hinata supposed to be John Connor or something? It would swallow up the world, like in the Flood myth. Flood myth, completely destroying it and create a new world then and there. That was Enlil's plan. And Marduk was like Marduk-chan, yeah. Marduk-chan, here, have Earth, have fun. It was at the time that Ea returned once again in order to observe Babylon's situation. She was sensitive. When she sensitively picked up Babylon's decay, she went to admonish Enlil. Enlil awaited Ea in place in reality that was devoid of people, taking her subordinates from code with her. Oh. That's how Ea's dying. And she became null within the Babylon. Okay. And then she talked about her ideas with Ea and offered her a proposal. Why don't we change the world together? But because Ea treated reality and the net equally, she refused Enlil. Enlil, already overcome with megalomania, considered her refusal a huge blow to her pride. And so she executed Ea on spot. Yeah, good job, god damn it. And she became forever trapped inside the Babylon. Wait, but why did Ea behave like one of Enlil's subordinates or collaborates after Enlil killed her? When she lost her shell, known as body, and became a stand-alone null, a ghost, did she also lose her memories? No, that's not a satisfactory explanation at all. Something's fishy. I mean, if you think about this, when you die, like your shadow doesn't experience that. So she doesn't remember that she died. Or something. That theory is twisted somewhere. It doesn't feel persuasive at all.
メグがなぜ司と手を組んでいたのか、それについては今の時点でははっきりとしたこと。ただ油断しない方がいいわね。
When she finishes saying that, Sensei sighs heavy.
お疲れ様。長かったけど これで私の昔
Backstory.
話はおしまい。ちゃんと理解して。
When I come to my senses, I realize that I've drunk all the coffee I prepared. Yep, pretty much. Including the stuff in the pod. I firmly stare into the empty cup in my left hand. There's no problems. I successfully and accurately input all the information to my head. If I need to reaffirm anything, I can always rewind to check. But to think that Mitsuki was involved in such a gigantic, monstrous maelstrom of strife, and that she was deceived, used, toyed with, and finally possibly driven to death as a pawn in the ambition of the damned Enlil Izumo Tsukasa. My hatred and revolution towards Izumo gush out along with my unfathomable despair and regret towards the past and future. Assuming that Mutsuki didn't knew about this stuff and she didn't agree with it. What if she actually was like actually on board with this? Oh, yep, Mutsuki dead. Does that mean that Mutsuki is really yeah, this ward in agony in the very lowest pits of hell, fated to suffer endlessly torture. She sought my help, didn't she? Yes, she said, help me, save me, in one of his dreams. And yet, yeah, you pretty much killed her by taking her out of the pod, apparently.
Mutsuki.
I instinctively said that word. Remember that rabbit girl? Yeah. My body lost strength, and I leaned on the sofa as I hung my head down. Santa is still calling out to me. She has more to say?
なぜ私はこんな長い昔話なんてしたと思う？
Hell if I know. I listened carefully to her story and tried to understand the best as I could in order to reaffirm what I should be doing. But that's lost meaning too. What I've learned is that it's all too late, and that I was guilty of not understanding her. There's no possibility that Muski is still alive. My wishes are dead. At the very least, I want to take her with these hands, even if it's just her corpse. Oh, I see. So that's what that vision meant. When I lost Mutsuki, I lost the meaning of my existence. The world I was in that time was lost in that very instant. Sure. I mean, yeah, like Babylon and the program and stuff just started collapsing. Technically, if we are correct, then Mutsuki is a main computer of Babylon at this point. What lies ahead is despair, an eternal, inescapable prison. From this point onward, I will continue to kill, damage, and destroy Mutsuki and the world over and over again for eternity.
私はね、少年。私のすべてを知ってもらった上で、
Okay.
君に決断してもらいたかったの。
I will make Okabe out of you. So we can go back in time over and over.
私の中の光も闇もすべて理解してもらった上で、私の覚悟を君に伝えたかったの。君にすべてを託したかったの。それができるのは君しかいないから。
Yaoi knew that he can travel in time. I weakly lift my head. Sensei's hologram is staring at my eyes.
私はメグと協議し、今後バビロンの運営を
Okay.
再び私を中心とする神聖アヌンナキが行い、司の率いるコードとは決別する。
Sure, so they tried to re-establish Aoki in the future. I assume it didn't work. What? Didn't she say that to me earlier that to not let my guard down around air?
メグのことは確かに懸念すべき要素が多いけれど、でも司と互角に渡り合うためには 彼女の
Yeah, she's like the main administrator.
彼女ならまだ説得できる余地があると思う。それにね。
But in the first place, there's no way Emily should be forgiven. What is she thinking? Just then, Sensei said what I can only describe as a shocking fact.
ムツキはまだ生きてる。
Yeah, we know that. He doesn't know that. Like, as long as she's in that, like, water pot, she's fine. She's just sleeping there. Essentially. What was that? My eyes widened as I directly stared into Yao-sensei's eyes. Within those eyes is a powerful, almost divine light. She's definitely not lying. Blood and polyheme ran through my body. My heart pounds furiously. I notice my heartbeat accelerating. I could just shoot a needle or something. I notice my heartbeat accelerating. I can't move. I can't even think about the simplest of things. The current me is doing everything he can just to accept that fact. My mind goes blank. My vision goes dim. Everything in front of me begins to blur. Hinata's waking up. Before long, on the other side of that veil, I see it. Vulgaris?
ここよ。
Okay, what was that corridor? Oh, that's the pod with Mutsuki. Oh, the Enigma. Oh, yeah, this is from the future. We learned that in road... Actually, in this road. We learned about Enigma name, yeah.
マルドゥークのためにシンと共に私が作った。
Okay. Yep, there she is.
ムツキ、本当に無事だったんだね。
Awaken Hinata.
ずっとここで待ってたんだよ。
Uh-huh.
絶対に救い出しに来てくれるって信じてた。
Mutsuki. When I come to my senses, I'm still in the hotel room facing Yao's hologram. Was that an illusion? No, there's no way in hell that was an illusion. That was definitely a reality that I myself experienced. Something that actually happened. As if to support that, Sensei
バビ
continues.
ロンの中枢、そのすべてを管理するメインコンピューター、マルドゥークには特殊なインターフェース、エ
Yes.
ンジンが接続されているわ。
So I was technically correct. That Mutsuki is part of the Marduk now. Yeah.
エニグマは人間の脳が紡ぎ出す夢をエミュレートして膨大なデータを圧縮管理するための装置で、
Yeah, I think we learned that back in Mutsuki Diary. There was something about that. About the brain waves compressing into dreams and stuff. Yeah. That was in the diary.
操作するにはオペレーターは専用のポッドの中に入り実際に夢を見る必要があるの。レム睡眠ってやつね。
You need to experience the REM sleep, yeah. Okay.
ムツキはずっとそこで目覚めることのない夢を見ているのよ。
Yeah. Second later, I should say I here grasp the mook in my left hand so strongly that it breaks into pieces. And he is like, Hinata, not now! Just stop acting, god damn it.
つかさ、エンリルはムツキを誰にも渡さないためにエニグマのポッドの中に封じ込めておいたのよ。だから
Yeah?
ムツキが生きてるのならやりようがあるわ。つかさを止めることができるのはムツキだけだから。
Or we can just shoot Emil.
いい。メグたちの力を借りれば全てを解決する手段があるの。たとえその結果としてかつての仲間を切ることになった。
I mean, we did.
自分が生み出した世界に 本当の終止符を打つことになるとしても、私は遠い
I mean, we kinda destroyed everything at the end. Yeah, that happened. The half to the moon's age noticeably weighs down this right arm. Understand what my role is. I will lend her a hand, and then I will save my irreplaceable sister. The essential element in this mission is trust. Trust in myself, in my sister, and in him. I will make our goal a reality, for me and for everybody else. That was a lot of information. Oh, I have to process this. Must remain unsolved. And now we have Yumi perspective. But this is for the next episode. Thank you everyone for watching. Let me know in the comments what do you think, what happened in this episode. I mean, we got a lot of info dump in this episode basically. We got a backstory for Exarch, for Babylon. We got the info about the flood, how it happened. We got explanation about, like clarification actually, about Mutsuki in the pod and Enlil. Yeah, that was heavily information dependent episode, to be honest. I'm a little bit tired. That was interesting, but very tiresome. And apparently, like, there might be some other person we don't know of, or this person doesn't know it's Nick, like the Kingu, the son of Apsu and Tiamat. I wonder if like someone like this actually exists, or was that just superficial thought of Ea, I think. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you everyone for watching. So yeah, click the like button if you liked the episode, subscribe for more, check my Discord, and become a member if you would like to support me and see episodes earlier. Thank you once again, and for now, Pocket Watch, let's get out.